Are you looking to submerge yourself into a world where you can explore anywhere with little to no set time? Well, I got you covered. I've comprised the top 10 open world games to play on the Steam Deck in 2025. Let's check it out. So number 10 is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen has everything included in the original game Dragon's Dogma 1, as well as on top of that, it has a new area with harder enemies as well as more superior gear. In this game, you get to engage on an epic adventure in a massive open world where you can choose from 9 different vocations, which is basically classes in other RPG games, where it brings about various feels of the game, in which when you choose different types of vocations, aka classes, it will bring about different strengths as well as different skills. And what's unique about Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is that there are also pawn companions in which they will join you, and they basically work as party members, which keeps you company. And where the pawns, they can be really resourceful. They can speak, they can seek assistance from the MC, as well as give you information about various enemies. On top of traversing, in the different landscapes, there's also a large cityscape with 200 plus NPCs to engage with. So yeah, if you really love these type of RPG games where there is a beautiful world to explore and where there's a variety of sorts of things to do, definitely check out Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen on the Steam Deck. Now up next is GTA 5. GTA 5, what I really love about the open world aspect of Grand Theft Auto 5 is that you get to traverse either in vehicles or by foot, and you get to complete various missions which consists of shooting and driving, as well as you get to explore this fictional city called Los Santos, based on, present day Los Angeles. As well as what I really love also is that you also get to explore the countryside, which consists of towns, farms, mountains, and many more, and you get to do everything you can to your disposable. Now, just as a heads up, GTA 5, even though it says unsupported on the Steam Deck, it is rated as unsupported, but it still runs on the Steam Deck. The unsupported badge just means that GTA Online does not work. The campaign is totally playable, just as a heads up. But anyways, if you love these type of games where there is an open world aspect to it and where you can just go around stealing those different cars, driving them, treating it as if it is your city, definitely check out GTA 5 on the Steam Deck. Now up next is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. What I really love about it is that there is a vast open world where it is really lively. There's a variety of the busy city life where you can do a lot of different things, as well as there's also wild areas flooded with danger. There's a variety of these different stuffs in this vast open world. In this game, you get to play as a monster slayer known as The Witcher, and where you can travel on foot, by boat, by horse, just as a few examples. And there are tons of side things to do, such as horse racing, boxing, romancing females after completing certain quests, as well as you get to visit different blacksmiths where you get to craft better weapons. If you love these type of open world games where there's a lot of things to do and there's a vibrant world to explore, as well as there is a great story and whatnot, definitely check out The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on the Steam Deck. Now up next is A Short Hike. A Short Hike is a cozy / open world game where you get to play as Claire, a young bird who gets to visit her Aunt May, who is a ranger at Hawk Peak Providential Park. Now, the thing about Claire is that she is expecting a phone call, and unfortunately the park has no cellular service whatsoever except at the peak of the mountain. So you as Claire must go on this short hike, no pun intended, to go all the way up to the tippy top of the mountain in order to take care of the phone call. Now, the thing about this game, why I say it is an open world game, is that you can technically just focus on hiking all the way up to the top of the mountain and just, collect or buy those different feathers that will help you fly higher and be able to just go on the main path all the way to the top of the mountain, to just go on the journey to get to the top of the mountain and just take care of business. You could could totally just do that and just finish the game. However, the major selling point with a short hike is more so about the process of the journey, but less about the destination. While on the journey, you can meet other cute NPCs, where you can take on those different quests, where you can help those different NPCs with whatever they need help with, as well as you can also, along the way, uncover different treasures by solving different riddles and just digging at the specific parts of the world in which you can find those different treasures, in which I find is really interesting and really cute as well. Those riddles, they kind of remind me of back in the day when me and my friends, when we were little, we were going on these different road trips and where we did not have access to electronics and we didn't know what to do in the car, so then we just solve these different riddles and laugh and have a great time. It just brings about that kind of vibe, those childhood memories. But anyways, if you really love these type of open world games where you can do anything at any time, and you don't want to play those type of games where there are a whole bunch of bloodshed and whatnot, definitely check out A Short Hike on the Steam Deck. Now up next is Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is a major pirate game where you get to go around and obtain lost treasures and where you can engage in intense battles as well as demolish monsters on the sea and many more as a pirate. It is a really fun, engaging multiplayer game in which you and your friends get to explore this open world and also look for different resources such as food to restore your health, like bananas and mangoes to name a few, as well as you can also go about in this open world environment at your disposal to find crucial weaponry in order to restock, firebombs as well as cannonballs. Yeah, it is a really beautiful world to explore and live the pirate life. So if all that sounds really interesting and engaging to you, as well as you love a game in which you can easily pick up and drop whenever, like somebody like me who likes to play a lot of single player games and want to play these type of games just to hang out with their friends and explore and marvel at the game, but at the same time do not want to commit to have to play it a certain amount of hours, can play as little and as much as you want, definitely check out Sea of Thieves on the Steam Deck. Now up next is Subnautica. Subnautica is a survival game taking place in the underwater world, which is so amazing and wonderful and beautiful and vibrant in life. It is a survival game with a vast open world to explore where you can go around and gather those different resources such as water, food, as well as necessary things to craft your gear in order to survive in the underwater world. There are a variety of terrains in this ocean wildlife world, whether it is exploring those different caves, exploring those different volcanoes, there's different forests, as well as there are just many more of these variety of different terrains to explore, gather resources, those necessities in order to survive. So yeah, if you are looking for an open world game where it takes place in the ocean, in the underwater world and whatnot, definitely check out Subnautica on the Steam Deck. Now up next is Watch Dogs 2. In this game, you get to play as Marcus, a young hacker who takes down shady and corrupt organizations throughout parts of a fictionalized Bay Area in California. This game specifically features iconic locations like San Francisco, Oakland, Marin County, and the Silicon Valley. You can travel by foot, travel by car, travel by buses, travel by trucks, motorbikes, you name it, as well as you get to engage in firearm fights also while driving. What I really love about Watch Dogs 2 is that there are various ways to approach those different missions, whether you want to approach it aggressively or in stealth mode. They both bring a really thrilling experience. As far as the aggressive approach goes, you get to engage in combat itself using a variety of melee and firearm weapons created from a 3D printer. As far as the stealth approach goes, you also get to use a variety of things such as paralyzing enemies with your taser or secretly using drones. Now, as far as the game goes, since it is an open world game, aside from the main missions and side missions, there are also a variety of things to do in this vast fictionalized Bay Area where you can street race, you can engage in street art activities, drone racing, and many more. So yeah, if you are looking for an open world game that's really engaging, really fun, as well as you really love the vibes of the Bay Area like me who grew up in the Bay Area, it kind of hits home to me a lot, then definitely check out Watch Dogs 2 on the Steam Deck. And just as a side note, Watch Dogs 2, like GTA 5, it is listed as unsupported because the multiplayer side of things also doesn't work. So just as a side note, but as far as the game goes, it all runs properly. So yeah, if all this sounds interesting to you, definitely check out Watch Dogs 2 on the Steam Deck. Now up next is Spider-Man Miles Morales. In this game, you get to play as, you know it, Miles Morales, in which when you play as Miles, you gotta help him balance his personal life while also protecting New York City, the residents, from a deadly virus. Now, the thing about, Spider-Man Miles Morales is that in this game, we see in the beginning where Peter, which is the other Spider-Man, he's gonna be gone on a trip for a few weeks, so Miles basically has to cover for him. He has to be the person who guards the fort and basically protects the residents. Peter is gone to take care of other business and Miles has to take over. Now, the thing about Miles Morales, I know a lot of people, they don't like Miles Morales that much due to it being a much shorter game, but the thing is that, to be honest, for me, I resonate with Miles Morales much more than, Spider-Man 2018. Now, Spider-Man 2, I would have put it on this list this far down, but at the same time, Spider-Man 2, in my opinion, it doesn't really touch me as greatly as, Spider-Man Miles Morales, so I wouldn't put Spider-Man 2 all the way down, also let alone that Spider-Man 2 doesn't really run as well on the Steam Deck, so that's also another factor. But anyway, Spider-Man Miles Morales, what I actually really love about Spider-Man Miles Morales is that I really love how you get to explore New York City, where you stop those different crimes, as well as I really love those different attacks, the attack moves like the Venom attack, which is just really cool and really fun, and where you just blast at those different enemies and whatnot. I love that inclusion of it, as well as I really love, as far as the game goes about the side activities, is having the ability to clear out those different Roxxon labs and hideouts, which is basically story related. I won't give you any spoilers, don't worry, and where you get to fight those different waves of enemies when participating in those different activities. As well as what I really love about Miles Morales is that compared to Spider-Man 2018, I feel like they really improved on the various challenges. Now, Spider-Man Miles Morales, even though there are, stealth challenges, combat challenges, traversal challenges, what's cool about these challenges is that these challenges work as a way for Peter being a mentor and teaching Miles the ropes on how to literally survive and protect the people in New York City. And the thing about those different challenges, what's really cool about it is that they have a lot of spice to it. For example, you could have one combat challenge in which you have to kill the enemies by launching them in the air, and while another challenge could also be a combat challenge where you basically have to kill the different enemies without taking damage. That's what I kind of remember, is that even though there are various challenges that may be labeled as the same kind of category, like combat, stealth, or traversal, but there are also those objectives in those different challenges that brings about the spice to the different challenges. It is not straightforward like Spider-Man 2018, where, a stealth challenge is just where you take out those different enemies stealthily, and where a combat challenge, you're just basically racing in the time to kill those different enemies at a specific time. No, Spider-Man Miles Morales, the thing about those challenges is that that there is extra spice to it. There are specific things you have to do even in those specific category of challenges. So that is something in which I really love about Spider-Man Miles Morales much more than Spider-Man 2018, as well as I really love about Spider-Man Miles Morales the story of it. I love how, you know, Miles is just growing up and basically just learning about what it means to cherish his family life, to care about the things that matter to him the most. And there's also these struggles in Miles' complicated life in which I just feel really touched as well. So yeah, if you are somebody who doesn't mind shorter games and you love these type of open world games where there are tons of things to do, but at the same time you also love it to be a short and sweet story that is touching as well, definitely check out Spider-Man Miles Morales on the Steam Deck. Now up next, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. This game is set between the events of Peter Jackson's The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings trilogy. In Shadow of Mordor, you play as Talion, a ranger and captain of Gondor who, along with his family, is captured by the Sauron Urix and sacrificed by the Black Hand to summon the wraith of the Elk Lord Celebrimbor. However, Celebrimbor suffers amnesia due to being a wraith and merges with Talion, in which it resurrects Talion and tags along with Talion to go on the mission to seek vengeance against Sauron. What I love about Shadow of Mordor is how you get to fight those different enemies, as well as there is a beautiful place to just explore that is heavily engaging if you're somebody who loves Lord of the Rings and loves The Hobbit, as well as there are also different side quests that really enhance the story, as well as a beautiful soundtrack that wraps everything that I mentioned together. But what I really am glad about Shadow of Mordor, what I really think really stands out compared to other beautiful open world games, is the Nemesis system. In Shadow of Mordor, you get to track down different Urix, and where you get to defeat those different captains, and where if you defeat those different captains, it will cause the captain's goons to be weakened. However, if you get killed by the captains, then it will cause the Urix to level up. So it is something in which you gotta prep, you gotta strategize before you take on a captain, because if you keep dying, it may come to a point where the game will be very much unplayable because the enemies get so high level and you are completely under leveled and you cannot play the game anymore, and unfortunately you have to start over. So that is something that you do not want to do. But anyways, if you are somebody who loves open world games that you get to explore and where you get to marvel at the beauty of it, while you also get to fight those different enemies, and where there are plenty of skills and weapons in which you can choose from, there are also these different movesets that you get to learn and whatnot along the way, definitely check out Shadow of Mordor on the Steam Deck. Alright guys, my favorite open world game to play, and that is none other than Shadow of War. Shadow of War is a direct sequel to Shadow of Mordor, and in this game, we see Talion and Celebrimbor head to Mount Doom to create another ring of power that is fresh and clean with no corruption from Sauron whatsoever. However, things turn nasty once the ring was created. Celebrimbor gets captured by Shelob, and Shelob threatens Talion to give her the ring or else she would keep Celebrimbor hostage. Due to her claiming that she and Talion mutually hating an enemy in Sauron, Talion reluctantly hands over the ring, and here's what Shelob has to say as she sees into the future before heading out. I love Shadow of War so much more than Shadow of Mordor. It is just the bigger brother to Shadow of Mordor, with a much bigger world to explore, a much bigger world to roam, as well as different enemies to fight, as well as there are also more side quests, and as well as there's also a bigger and better variety of weapons. That's what I really love about Shadow of War. But what I am impressed mostly about Monolith Productions is buffing the Nemesis system in Shadow of War. What I love about the Nemesis system in Shadow of War is that enemies are able to be dominated. When dominating an enemy, the enemy can be sent to eavesdrop different war chiefs and bring back intel to Talion. As well as what's cool about being dominated is that those enemies, they can continue to be your friend or later on betray you and become a foe depending on how you treat them. Like for example, if during a battle you decide to protect them in the battle, they will continue to be your friend. But if you abandon them, then they will become your foes. So this is a game in which it is just so much more polished than Shadow of Mordor. It really feels as if Shadow of War, the gameplay side of things, is what Shadow of Mordor was meant to be. So yeah, that is something that is just so remarkable. If you are somebody who loves Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, you will love Shadow of War. If you are somebody who just loves open world games and the action side of things, you will love Shadow of War. It is just a game that I believe is just meant for everybody. Definitely check out Shadow of War on the Steam Deck. But yeah, guys, these are the top 10 open world games in which I would recommend any Steam Deck owner to check out in 2025. Let me know in the comment section below, are there any open world games in which you would recommend me to check out in 2025? And as always, if you love gaming reviews, gaming lists, gaming discussions, and everything related to the Steam Deck, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so you'll not miss another video. I try to post Mondays and Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so stay tuned. Once again, my name is Joe Wang from the Nomadic Gaming Guild, and game on!